Two with me, Harry Symeou, and the brilliant Flex from United View. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is inching closer to a sensational return to Manchester United, talkSPORT understands. Former Red Devils player and manager Solskjaer is in advanced talks to become United's interim head coach for the rest of the season. It's fair to say Simon Jordan was pulling no punches with his thoughts on Solskjaer's potential return.
I mean, this is a guy they fired and paid 10 million to go out the door. Replaced him with Ralph Rangnick and paid him 14 million to go out the door 6 months later. What are they doing at this football club? What kind of decisions are they making? I mean, I'm sure he's a fabulous fellow. I'm sure that he's the most pleasant fellow you could ever come across, but the leader he's not. And turning to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a manager that wasn't good enough, in my view, in the first instance, no personal slight upon him. I'm just calling it as I see it from an observatory point of view. Bringing him back is almost laughable. You got rid of him. You paid him 10 million to go because he wasn't deemed good enough. And I do believe emphatically that despite the fact that you can point to some of the successes he had during a period of time, which might have been a hangover from the fact that Man United was still a contender at that time, they still had some feel about them. They're just a losing football club right now, without any of the hubris or the standards of the past. That's no longer there. Only thing that's there is the memory of Man United right now. And to bring back this idea of people that have played for the football club, just because they played for the football club, just because they were a substitute that scored a memorable goal in the European Cup final of 1999, is, for me, is a fool's errand. But if that's what they think is the best solution for the time being, they've made dreadful decisions.
Flex, before we get into your thoughts specifically on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the merit of him coming back, I don't know if that's accurate that he was paid 10 million quid or whatever it was roughly to go.
Pretty much.
If it is, does that not make you question INEOS again? Because
100%.
It's kind of like, so Jim Ratcliffe comes out and talks about how the club is in a bad position financially, how they were a year away at one stage from running out of cash and all the rest of it. Yet when you look at the decisions they make and the cost of these decisions, it is hard, isn't it, to have any sympathy for them? They're getting things wrong, aren't they? They're getting things horribly wrong.
INEOS have made every single major decision wrong. They've got it wrong. Every single big decision. Erik ten Hag wanted to sack him, didn't, kept him, gave him 300 million, sacked him, payoff. Getting in Dan Ashworth, waiting, probably going to the Court of Arbitration of Sport, saying how Newcastle are being stupid, etc., etc. Get him in, 4 million compensation after a month or two, sacked, gone. Getting Ruben Amorim, wedded to 3-4-3, fallout, don't get him the players, he doesn't change, it all falls down, payout. Shocking. So for every pound and penny and pence that Man United, the INEOS have said we've had to save because we're going to go out of business, they've spent it rectifying their errors.
Yeah.
So absolutely, definitely not sympathy, it's incompetence. We are seeing incompetence from people and guys that are also learning on the job. So, yeah, we'll get to Ole in a second, but INEOS, I have no faith whatsoever that, one, they know what they're doing, but two, they're about to make a bunch of good choices now to get us out of this mess that they've extenuated. When you get new owners, new decision makers, new people at board level, new departments that have been erected because you didn't have it before, a club like Man United didn't even have a proper footballing department. Yeah. I get it. There has to be an air of, not optimism, but there has to be a feeling from fans to let them, well, I'm not sure about this, but let me see.
Let them work.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because they have inherited some disgusting decisions from Ed Woodward, from John Murtough, from Richard Arnold, etc. These guys, underneath the Glazer stewardship, because the Glazers don't care about the club, made bad footballing decisions, okay? So that had to be ripped out and a new thing built. Well, it's going to be 2 years in February, so I can make a judgment. I could have done it last February, but there's 2 years now worth of work. Shocking.
Yeah.
Disgusting work what they've done. Really
I don't
poor.
disagree. And I'm looking from the outside in and I feel that way. So I can only imagine what you guys are feeling. On to Ole, though. What was your reaction when you realised that he is the most likely candidate, not for the first time?
My reaction's probably still this, which is like, I still don't know how to feel. This is just, the first thing that came to my mind was embarrassment. That was the first thing. Like, we're just a laughing stock. Like, Ole came in 2018, left in 2021, and as Simon Jordan rightly so, whether you agree with Simon on a daily basis or don't, he's right. This is a guy that, that has an affinity to the club. We love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. His history of what he achieved at the football club as a player can never be scrubbed out. But as a coach, He was fantastic as an interim, did okay at the beginning embers of a permanent, but was deemed and seen to be not good enough.
Yeah.
That has not changed in a bad spell at Besiktas, has it? So in isolation, to look at it and think that he's the man to save Manchester United is laughable. However, there's the fan element and all of the noise, etc. And then there's the position you're in. Now, I think that there's a lot of statements that can be true in this situation. One statement that can be true is that, and I don't want to give INEOS too much credit in the bank to actually decide this, but it's a theory, right?
Yeah.
They believe, because you've got to put yourself in their shoes for a bit. They believe that they can get a top manager, somebody worth waiting for in the summer. You know, David Ornstein's talking about it, and it's not hard to work out. The managerial landscape in the summer is going to look a lot different to what it is now. You look at someone like Julian Nagelsmann after the World Cup, maybe Thomas Tuchel after the World Cup, and Luis Enrique is on record, I think, in reports saying that he might want a new challenge. So there's three sort of big dogs. Do I trust INEOS to go and get those, or do I think they want to come to Manchester United?
That's
they're
the key.
different. They're
it's
different
the second
arguments.
bit there for me. It's the second bit for me.
Yeah.
Do I trust INEOS to go and get them? I think that probably comes down to money, right?
Yeah.
Like, will they fork out the money? Well, considering what they pay people to get rid of them, I wouldn't be surprised if they were willing to fund that kind of move. But the question is, do those managers want to come and work under those circumstances?
Exactly.
Because, and Chelsea are in a similar boat, right? We'll talk about Rossini later, but Chelsea have gone and got Liam Rossini because so many top-level managers would probably turn away from that job because they won't like the parameters under which they're going to work
in it.
And
they don't even want top-level managers. They want people like Liam Rossini, like Maresca, who are like, this is a massive step up.
Yeah, and I should be grateful to be here, and therefore I won't argue or push back
until I win a few trophies and start stepping out of my station. Then you'll get Maresca.
Then you'll get rid of me. Yeah, exactly. So I think, Manchester United is a weird environment right now. Like, I'm not saying, I don't think Ruben Amorim was doing well.
No.
Okay, I think that's fair to say. I don't think that it is wrong for the sporting director or anyone of that sort of ilk to come downstairs and say to Ruben, behind the scenes, tactically, is this working? I don't think that's wrong. I think he's just being held account to what they're seeing on the pitch, and that's absolutely fine. But it seems like there was a little bit too much interference that then crossed the line in Amorim's eyes, which led to his outburst.
And then he's entitled to do that. And then also the promises that you made him, knowing the type of man/manager he is as well.
Yeah.
You have to look at that. It all comes down. But what's sickening is that INEOS haven't sacked him because of league position. We have to remember this. If you look at Manchester United, in isolation, if you didn't know anything what had gone on, you go, oh, why has he lost his job? They were 15th last year. I tell you what, they're joint points with Chelsea. Couple of points behind Liverpool, I think it is, or City, or whoever, looking to try and get in the Champions League. That's about right what I expect from Man United this year, one game a week. So they haven't sacked him for that. They didn't sack him for losing to Grimsby, losing to Spurs in the cup final, finishing 15th, getting battered by Brentford and Manchester. Didn't sack him for any of those things as alarming signs of this guy's not good enough. They sacked him because they fell out with him when they realised that he's not as flexible as they wanted him to be, after they gave him all the promises of play 3-4-3, we understand, we're in your vision, that's fine. And then they sacked him for that. But back to Ollie, if you are going to look for an interim coach, though, the pool is very small. No top manager is an interim,
agreed.
So that's that. Then you're looking at, like, if you go and get someone like Ralf Rangnick, who's so alien/foreign to the club and the fabric and what it's about, who wants to walk in there, and he, gave great advice, by the way. Manchester United should have listened to him.
Yeah, 100%.
But the players won't listen to that. He tried to do 4-2-2, Gegen press, all of this stuff. You know, this is the way forward, this, that. His best work as a technical director. And actually he's doing quite well as an Austrian manager now. But the players will just say, not for me. So if you're looking at an interim until the end of the season, then Ollie probably actually is your best bet. He's actually done his best work as that.
As an interim,
That
makes sense.
As long as you, again, it goes into trust. I don't trust INEOS.
How can you?
In any way,
based on what they've
to
done
say,
so far?
even if Ollie does well, he's not getting that job. Because that's what worries me. He does well for a bit, and then we're back
and then
to.
He gets the job.
I'm living in The Sims. You know the game The Sims. I'm living in that.
Just going around.
Someone's just controlling it. It's laughable. So yeah, but on the flip side, I'm telling you now, I got a feeling. I don't know this. I just got a feeling that Ollie's first game is going to be Manchester City at home, And I just think we're going to go on a little run. Ollie's at the wheel again, all of that. We're going to go through that, and then it's going to come crashing down towards the end of the season, then we just don't do anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he brings some kind of uplift initially.
Yeah.
Just before we break, in terms of permanent appointment, who's in your mind? Who's the name that you're most drawn to? Ideal world, blue sky scenario, let's say you can have the pick of the bunch. Who are you going for?
For the first time as a United fan, I feel like I don't actually know. I'm being honest, like, there's holes in all of them. Like, to work under this structure, I don't think the big boys would come, but I would want one of the big boys.
Yeah.
I need to see Thomas Tuchel. I need to see Nagelsmann or Enrique. But I just don't think it's going to happen. So if I be more realistic, what is it? Iriola, Glasner, Maresca.
I could see Iriola doing it.
I'm not for me.
I could see him.
I'd definitely take it.
I can see him going, that's a great chance, I've got to take it.
Definitely. Glasner will probably say that as well. Like, those guys don't. And I know that some people say, mate, you had Ruben Amorim, but Glasner would definitely be better than that. And Iriola definitely.
They don't inspire you.
It just doesn't feel right. You know,
doesn't feel Manchester United.
I'm just going to stick with maybe unrealistic targets of the big boys because I just don't see anything else other than that.
Well, there are rumours today that Luis Enrique's rejected a contract offer from Paris Saint-Germain, so that could be interesting. Watch this space on that one. Absolutely.